If you've been struggling with chest fat, man boobs, or that soft, puffy look that just won't go away no matter how hard you train, stay right here. Because what you're about to hear is going to completely change how you approach this problem. And I promise you, by the end of this video, you're going to walk away with a clear, step-by-step understanding of exactly what's causing it, why everything you've tried so far hasn't worked, and what you actually need to do to fix it. This isn't another generic fitness video. This is the stuff most people never tell you. Let's start with something that sounds completely backwards. Chest exercises do not burn chest fat. Not a single push-up. Not one rep of anything. I know that sounds wrong. It feels wrong. But it's pure biology. And once you understand it, everything else starts to make sense. So why are so many guys out there grinding through endless sets of push-ups and seeing absolutely nothing change in the mirror? Because they're attacking the wrong problem entirely. They think they have a training problem, but what they actually have is a biology problem. Here's what's really going on. What most guys call man boobs usually comes down to one of two things. The first is pseudogynecomastia, which is simply fat tissue that has accumulated on top of the chest muscle. The second is true gynecomastia, which involves actual glandular tissue underneath the nipple area, and that's something training alone cannot remove. The problem is, most guys have no idea which one they're dealing with, so they just train blindly and wonder why nothing is working. And here's the important part: even if you do have some glandular tissue involved, your chest can still look dramatically different. Sharper, flatter, more masculine. The key is learning how to change the shape and the visual structure of your chest, not just trying to shrink it through random exercises. And this is where almost everyone makes a critical mistake. The most common instinct is to target the lower chest. Decline presses, dips, chest-focused push-ups. It feels logical because that's where the problem seems to be sitting. But here's the brutal truth: training your lower chest is actually making the problem look worse. When you develop the lower portion of your chest, you're pushing everything forward. Fat, tissue, everything gets pushed outward. It literally exaggerates the appearance of man boobs rather than reducing it. Now flip that completely. What happens when you build your upper chest instead? You create lift. The muscle fibers that run along your collarbone and upper chest pull everything upward when they develop. The entire chest tightens visually. The way light hits your chest changes. The way shirts sit on your body changes. Your posture changes. And here's the wild part: your body fat doesn't even have to be dramatically different for all of this to be noticeable. Same amount of fat, completely different appearance, just by changing which part of the chest you're developing. But there's still something deeper going on here, and this is where things get genuinely interesting. You cannot spot reduced fat from your chest. Your body doesn't burn fat from wherever you're working out. It burns fat from everywhere simultaneously based on total energy demand. So if chest exercises aren't burning chest fat, what actually does? The answer is compound movements, squats, rows, deadlift, exercises that force your entire body to recruit muscle at once. The more total muscle you activate in a single movement, the more calories your body burns, not just during the workout, but for hours afterward while you're just sitting around doing nothing. That's the difference between training smart and training hard for no real result. Now here's where it goes even deeper, and most people never make this connection. That fat sitting on your chest isn't just sitting there passively. It's actually working against you in a very specific biological way. Fat tissue contains an enzyme called aromatase. What aromatase does is convert testosterone into estrogen. Think about that for a second. The more fat you carry, especially around your chest and stomach, the more of your own testosterone is being destroyed and converted into the exact hormone that encourages even more fat storage. It's a loop that keeps feeding itself, and most guys are stuck right in the middle of it without even knowing it exists. So the real question becomes, how do you break out of that cycle? And the answer is not isolation exercises. It's not push-ups. It's attacking the problem at the hormonal level, and the best tool for that is heavy compound lifting. When you train large muscle groups together with intensity, your body responds almost immediately with a testosterone spike. We're talking increases of over 30% within just minutes of completing a heavy set. Think about what that means. In less than 5 minutes of the right training, your hormonal environment shifts dramatically. Higher testosterone means less fat being stored. Less fat means less aromatase activity. Less aromatase means your testosterone climbs even higher. That's the goal. But not all exercises trigger that response equally. Some barely move the needle, others hit your hormones like a truck. So if your goal is to flatten your chest as fast as possible, you need the right combination exercises that build the upper chest for visual shape and exercises that trigger that hormonal response at a systemic level. The first exercise is the incline dumbbell press, but not the way most people are doing it. Walk into any gym and look at the incline benches. Almost everyone has them set to 45 degrees. At 45 degrees, your front deltoids take over. Your shoulders do most of the work. Your upper chest barely gets stimulated. The fix is simple, but makes a massive difference. Set the bench to 30 degrees. That single adjustment shifts the load directly onto your upper chest fibers and keeps your shoulders from hijacking the movement. Now comes the exercise that most guys avoid because it's simply hard. The deadlift. This is not just a back exercise. This is your body's hormonal reset button. When you perform a heavy deadlift, you recruit almost every major muscle group simultaneously: legs, back, core, grip. Everything fires together, and when that much muscle is activated at once, your body responds aggressively. Testosterone spikes fast and hard, and we already understand what that means for your chest fat. More testosterone, less fat storage, less aromatase converting what you have left. This one exercise attacks the root cause of why chest fat keeps coming back. It also keeps your metabolism elevated for hours after you finish training. Your body continues burning calories at an elevated rate long after you've left the gym, even while you're sleeping. That's real fat loss. But form matters here more than almost any other exercise, because poor form on a deadlift doesn't just reduce results, it causes injury. If you're new to this movement, start lighter than you think you need to. Learn the pattern first, then load it. Even with all of that dialed in, there is still one factor that makes your chest look worse than it actually is, and almost nobody trains specifically to fix it. It's not more fat, it's your posture. The exercise that fixes this is the face pull. It doesn't build your chest directly, but it rebuilds the muscle structure that holds your chest in the right position. Now put it all together: upper chest development through the right incline press, hormonal optimization through heavy deadlifts, and posture correction through face pulls. That combination alone can transform how your chest looks. But there's one final layer, and without it, none of the training matters as much as it should: your diet. You need to be in a calorie deficit, around 300 to 500 calories below your daily maintenance level. That's enough to steadily strip fat without destroying muscle, and protein is non-negotiable. Aim for roughly 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight every single day. No exceptions, no days off from that number. The last piece is one most people completely overlook: progressive overload. Your body only changes when it's forced to. If you're pressing the same dumbbells for the same reps every week, your chest has absolutely no reason to grow or change. It already adapted to that challenge. So every single week, something has to get harder. More weight, more reps, better control on the way down. Something. Progress doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it's one extra rep. Sometimes it's finally feeling your upper chest engage instead of your shoulders. But those small weekly improvements stack up, and after a few months, your chest stops looking soft. It stops folding. It sits higher, tighter, and sharper. And that's when you realize the whole time it wasn't about doing more chest exercises, it was about doing the right ones, fixing your hormones, fixing your posture, and finally eating in a way that lets the results show through.